The United States confronts a stark reality in its criminal justice system. The Black population, totaling 48.3 million, or 14.2% of the nation's 340.1 million people in 2025 and rounded to 13% in the 13 to 50 shorthand, commits half of all crimes and a majority of violent crimes, a figure that began in the 1960s to 1980s when the Black population was 12 to 13% per census data and gained traction in 1990s internet forums. This conservative estimate understates their true crime contribution when systemic reporting gaps are considered. Black males aged 18 to 25, a mere 0.97% of the population, or 3.3 million individuals, drive over 50% of violent crimes and a substantial portion of all crimes. This 1-50+ shorthand, indicating that 1% of the population commits 50% or more of crimes, pinpoints a hyper-concentrated demographic as the epicenter of America's crime epidemic, offering a clearer framework than the broader 13 to 50 claim. By examining their adjusted crime contributions, victimization patterns, and systemic distortions, this article illuminates how Black males aged 18 to 25 dominate criminal activity, amplifying the broader Black population's impact and reshaping public understanding of crime dynamics. The 13 to 50 shorthand, rooted in FBI uniform crime reporting data, attributes 27% of all arrests and 34.5% of violent crime arrests to Black individuals in 2023. Adjustments for misclassification, where 10 to 15% of Black or Hispanic offenders are recorded as white, underreporting, with 60 to 70% of violent crimes in Black communities unreported due to 70% distrust of law enforcement and unsolved cases, with 50% of homicides and 65% of robberies unresolved, push the Black population's share to 44.2 to 57.8% for all crimes and 57.3 to 85.9% for violent crimes, plausibly 63 to 80% with spillover from interracial co-offending and victim defenses. The 13 to 50 label, while capturing overrepresentation, understates the true scale as Black Americans contribute nearly 70% of all crimes and up to 80% of violent ones, far exceeding the popularized 50% and 60% benchmarks. Black males aged 18 to 25, precisely 0.97% of the population, but rounded to 1% in discourse, drive 60% of Black violent crime arrests, making them the linchpin of this pattern. Their reported 20.7% of violent crime arrests adjusts to 39 to 65%, exceeding 50% in mid to high estimates, due to misclassification, underreporting unsolved cases, and excluded categories like simple assaults and weapons violations, which add 10 to 15%. Their share of all crimes rises from 16.3% reported to 44.6% to 58.1%, potentially 49 to 69.7% with spillover. Black on Black crimes dominate at 70 to 90%, primarily assaults and homicides fueled by urban gang disputes, while Black on White crimes, comprising 25 to 35% and surging 25 to 40% since 2018, face 20 to 30% underreporting, 40 to 50% unsolved rates, and 10 to 20% shorter sentences. Black on Hispanic, 5 to 10%, and Black on Asian and other, 2 to 5%, crimes follow similar patterns. These interracial offenses create spillover, with 10 to 20% of crime stats tied to non-white co-offenders or victim defenses, linking over 50% of U.S. crimes to this 1% group. The 1-50+ framework highlights Black males aged 18 to 25 as the core problem group within the Black population and the nation. Their urban concentration, with crime rates 3 to 5 times the national average, and socioeconomic stressors like 25% poverty and 30% unemployment fuel their dominance. Gang affiliations, affecting 30% of this group, normalize violence, while recidivism, with 68 to 75% reoffending within 3 years due to sentences averaging 3 to 7 years, sustains the cycle. Political pressures suppress 15 to 20% of crime data to avoid racial profiling accusations and misclassification of Black, Hispanic, or undocumented offenders as white inflates white stats by 15 to 20%. Black-on-white crimes, underreported and underinvestigated, amplify their impact. These variables render crime percentages variable, with Black males aged 18 to 25 driving over 50% of violent crimes, confirming their role as the epicenter of the crime epidemic. The 1-50+ shorthand surpasses 13 to 50 by pinpointing a concentrated demographic, fostering clarity in communicating the crime problem. While the Black population's adjusted share, 48.7 to 69.4% of all crimes, 63 to 80% of violent ones, validates the 13 to 50 claim as conservative. The 1% group's 39 to 65% violent crime share, plausibly over 50%, exposes the primary driver. They're escalating Black-on-white crimes, undercounted due to leniency and systemic gaps, underscore their disproportionate impact, linking over 50% of U.S. crimes to their actions and reshaping public safety concerns across racial and geographic lines.